Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Volta Go OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. And the call, as usual, is public and recorded and will be shared on YouTube. So please be mindful of the comments and the information you share. So first of all, I just wanted to have an update, if any, from Mahir and Holger and Michael on the multi-uni support. Mahir, have you created the stories we were talking about?
Not yet. Today, I'll create them today.
Okay, sounds good. So the idea is to split the work in smaller chunks that can be completed by different people.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So we can review easily
Yep.
and implement this there.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on the multi-uni support? I don't think there was any progress in the last week, but just asking anybody if any progress was done.
On my side, no, not any progress done for multi-unit, but I analyzed code. So for technology profile download change that Michael indicated in the document. So I found, problem there and wrote it to Slack. And thank you for Michael, gave the response from the Slack. So as far as I understood, we chose to not to keep the MIP data in the database anymore. So we need to keep some data in the KV store, persistence to KV store. The entity IDs used for tcons and tcons IDs, key value values in the database to proceed. So I got the points, I think. So no any more questions from me currently?
Yeah, I think you should take this as a base for the development. I mean, we are still considering and discussing perhaps if we should set up the database with the complete set of configured managed entities. This is perhaps a question if we could make use of that still in the MIP, what is it called? MIP audit, let's say it that way, in case that the MDS counter is correct. We discussed already some time ago that it's possible to have a complete check over the complete MIP database. But I think, Holger, what is your status? I think we agreed for the moment not to go into this direction. So it's more in a future option, and I'm not sure when we will deal with that. And so my assumption is still that you should create your own methods for these interdependencies between the different tech profiles.
So the question was, I don't get exactly the use case why you need this entity IDs somewhere permanently stored, because currently we are storing all the configuration in the more or less abstract way in the etcd, where no entity IDs are stored, and if necessary, for example, during reconciling, the whole internal structure will be, or the events will be then generated out of this abstract data, and this could also be done. No?
Wait a second. So at least for the use case of the UNI, of the different UNI configurations, it might be useful, as Mahir has put into the document there. And I think we still discussed that we might also improve or extend the MIP audit in that way that we do not only compare the MDS counter, but also compare the complete MIP data. at a certain time. And the question is, do we have another state? I think we agreed to not do it now, but I think it's still a future option. Or
no, yeah, so the question was if it would also be possible to generate out of this abstract data dedicated get next requests and consolidate them with the current ONU configuration status, you know.
yes,
that would also be possible. So it was my problem. I didn't got the point why we should store, why we now store it for the new multi UNI handling. It was but
this case that is it's not directly related to the multi-UNI case, but it's most, I mean, we can see it mostly in multi-UNI case because of the limited number of T-cons. I mean, in multi-UNI case, it can be a case that operator put the same services on different UNIs into the same T-cont. So if a technology profile for UNI, first UNI is created, we create the T-cons and the related queues, etc. But if the same service is configured for the second UNI, we shouldn't create the T-cont again. So we have to check if this T-cont is created before.
But couldn't you get this information also out of this as abstract data? So you have for each UNI, you have the set of okay, so you have no, you have the set of the tech profile, and you have the flow, the configured flows in form of VLAN configuration. That you mean this would not be sufficient for you to check, right? Or
Holger, the question is not if there is something, but it's quite complicated to get the data from the different internal data of more or less independent state machines that are related to this processing here. So it would be much more easier if there could be a database access for the T-cont to check if it is already configured or not. That's the only point. So
I see.
and
So,
the question was only if we should supply such an implementation for another reason, then it could be reused. But to make it short, let's for the time being assume that we do not provide this implementation by now, and so a different approach must be found.
You mean to reconstruct this from the abstract data, or or a separate list in dedicated to only
that's implementation specific. So I would leave that to the implementation.
Okay,
there are different means for that. It doesn't matter here.
Okay, I see.
I would agree here to this. Yeah, let's do it maybe at a later time. Okay. Anything else on the multi-uni?
No.
Okay, good. On the image update, the new API side of things, what we did was we actually merged the protos and the VoltaLibGo stuff. We also merged up first initial patch for the OpenONU that started started using the new Volta protos and VoltaLibGo. The changes for the VoltCTL and Volta core are in progress by the folks at Radisys. I think both, especially the VoltCTL is very close. The core might still need a few tweaks, but we're fairly close on having the, how could you say, the structure in place. Michael, any update from your side?
Well, I just started the work on this topic for the ONU adapter side. So there's not really much progress here. So, but yeah, at least I started.
Good, that's fine. Okay, thanks. Any question on this? No? Okay. Then on the PM side, Girish, do you want to give us an update on where things are at?
Yeah, so currently I'm working on the ANIG test implementation. Thanks to Chip, I received a private copy of the OMCI libcode that has now support for decoding test request, test response, and test result notification. Yeah, it's a work in progress. I hope to have a final patch in the next 1 or 2 days.
That's great, Girish. Is this this is not the existing OMCI libgo patch that is up there, Chip, right? This is another set of patch that you will upstream.
Yeah, it's one I'll upstream after the current one is approved. I just thought I'd get something off to Girish quickly so he doesn't have to wait.
Absolutely, that would be that's great. And we're talking about this one. Sorry, I'm just getting it.
Yeah, it's the one with the test result, but it also includes test request and test response, decode and serialization.
There's still one.
Okay.
There's still one comment from Michael. What should we do? Should we merge it and you address the comment in the next one, or do you prefer to address it in this one?
It's not really a problem in my point of view. So it might be a bit more efficient, but as I wrote on some, yeah, it's stated here, it's okay and accepted. So if the code should be merged in that way in the current state, then it's okay for me.
Yeah, I can follow this up. We've got at least 2 to 3 more extended message set JIRAs to go, so I can do continual improvement on that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and merge this one, so you have leeway to send a patch that is also needed for Girish upstream. So if Girish finds anything, it's easier for him to comment and do like things like that. So
okay, that sounds great.
Okay, thanks, Chip.
Thanks all.
Okay. Any question related to the PM that you want to ask the group, Girish?
Nothing in particular. The next one was 3785 that are PMs related to counters just within the OpenONU adapter. Yeah, that's going to be picked up next. I think Holger has raised this issue.
Okay. And
Girish.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Michael.
Yes, Michael.
For the ANIG test, you provided already some patch on code preparation, quite good. So it's already visible, the concept that you are following. The question I have more in this respect is the system side usage of this test. Is your intention to incorporate the test into the matrix, or will there be a separate, let's say, user interface to request this data?
Oh, it's a test, so it will be via the CLI or the northbound gRPC interface. So you have to initiate a test request and you will get a test response. You'll get the results.
So something like that is already available also in Vault Control.
Yes, I mean something like this is already. It's not the test, but fetching the pawn counters, ONU counters. But it has also an extensibility to include, the test request. I can share you the. Andrea, do you mind opening the extensions.proto in Volta Protos? In the Volta Protos directory, there is an extensions.proto. Extensions, yes. In that there is a get value request. Okay, so there is get ONU pawn optical info. ONU the get ONU pawn optic. Yeah, so that's the request to fetch the ANIG test. That's the ANIG test request, and the response is in the. You should have a similar get ONU pawn optical info response. So the get ONU pawn optical info response corresponds. It has a direct correlation to the ANIG test results.
Mm-hmm. And is it in this approach? Is it that way that you, from adapter point of view, you send the response as a synchronous answer to the, I don't know,
to the user it will be synchronous, but within the adapter it will be, the responses will be asynchronously handled and sent back to the user. From the northbound it will seem synchronous. It usually takes, I don't know, I have not calculated the timing, but Bjorn was saying that from DT was saying that it usually at max it usually takes up to 1 second for the response to be received.
Depends on the network that you have.
Yeah.
If you have the adapter far-fetched from the ULT or the ONU, then it might take quite long. So, yeah. Oh,
well, I mean,
okay.
the test request is usually for, the field guys to, debug something. It's not usually you keep doing periodically in production. That's what I would assume.
That's true. But anyway, my doubt is that you initiate the test, and based on the OMSI processing, you can receive a very late response, or the result data can be quite delivered quite late. So the question was if you deliver the results as direct input, or if you send them as events again on the Kafka bus. So that was the question I have. But you say you kind of directly respond to the request.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be more used. I mean, I could use inputs here, but I would assume a test request would immediately, you would want to see the response to the caller rather than, push something on Kafka. I mean, PMs, yes, I agree. I mean, periodic events, you keep pushing on the Kafka bus, but this is not a periodic event. You're initiating a test request and you would want to see the result.
Okay, let's say if you can live with the timeouts of, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds, then it should be okay. No?
Yes, you would definitely want to have timeouts. I mean, whoever is invoking the request would definitely want to have some fixed timeout. You would not want to indefinitely wait on the response. Yeah, that's definitely considered in the implementation.
Mm-hmm. And in the proto definition, I can see that probably you also want to transfer the get current counters here. Am I right?
Yes, that's this implementation is only for the ANIG, but yeah, I mean something similar for get current counters should also be done.
At least in the proto definition, I can already see according structure elements. So I suppose also that can be used here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, but that's a different story, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Anything else on this?
Girish, you said you want to start after this one with wall 3785. That means these new event notifications, which will be issued by the OpenONU adapter, right?
Yes, I would think so. I honestly haven't done any assessment. I saw that this was, I don't know, it's on my name, so probably I'll work on this. I haven't done any assessments on how to implement this yet.
Okay.
Do you have some thoughts since you raised this issue?
The question is, the issue was raised in the scope of MIP audit, and
Okay.
also there was some discussion if we need, for example, if we somehow initiate adapter initiated ONU restart or something like this, then we would need or also malfunction of OMSI communication. If you have to raise this to outwards, but my question is, do we currently have such events which will be reported?
No, I don't think we have any such events yet.
No.
No, we don't. Yeah.
And also there is really no mechanism for us to act upon any of such events. So while it would be good to have this, it may be best if Girish, you start with an assessment of like what's really the value of putting this in, because if the adapter does push them up, but nobody acts on them, and it's a huge implementation to act upon it in the core and stuff like that. While it is true that it could prove useful, it might also be that we can prioritize other stuff in respect to this. So maybe an analysis of this, maybe in conjunction with Holger, and you guys take it offline, could be good. But before maybe we going down into implementation of all of this stuff, it could be worth analyzing if what and if is actually useful. Okay. Maybe also.
For example, it's the third one, malfunction of OMSI communication channel. My next task will be this story to retry to send OMSI requests towards the ONU if there's no answer in a defined OMSI timeout. And I don't know what if we, for example, have a permanently wrong or not working OMC ICE channel. How would this be notified to the operator? There's no mechanism currently, right? As it would be how this would be recognized, or how this would be notified somehow.
A good point.
Yeah, Holger, the minimal possibility to see such effects would be the OMSI CC performance counters, which is also a feature which is still missing.
You mean this could be more valuable than this one here? This OMSI CC
No,
counters?
I said if you have these OMSI CC counters, you would at least see such effects that the OMSI channel is not working. So you would see that you try to send some frames, but you do not receive any response. Things like that should be visible in these counters.
But we don't have such counters currently,
not
right?
yet. Yeah.
Okay. As I said, let's maybe do an assessment of this before starting any work, and let's maybe prioritize things that can actually be useful upstream and can actually be used upstream. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let me initiate a discussion on Slack first with Mikkel and Holger, and then put down some notes, and then we can take it from there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Girish. That's perfect. Okay. Next up is the tests. Thorsten, what's the update on this? I saw that you uploaded a further extension on the PM counters test.
Yes, I did it today. Yes, but we can go point by point here.
Sure.
The first point, small enhancement, according to uni status, it's passed. It's over. It's working.
Done.
Done. Right. Missing metric elements sporadically works also fine. It's also closed, done. Missing gun port history, both patches are working fine. It's also done. Wrong upper status and admin state doesn't work. And I sent Girish a trace of the BBSIM and the log of the robot. Hope that's enough for you, Girish, and please take a look why it doesn't work.
Sure. Let me check.
Yeah, yes, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You take your time you need, and that's good. And what's still open now is the workaround for the missing unit and the world control printouts. This is the next topic there. If Girish has time, it would be nice when we get it, so that we, yes, this is. So I can remove the workarounds, and maybe then I can remove the work in progress too. Maybe I will make tomorrow a further little small check according raised and reported timestamps, but it's not so sufficient. It's a small one, an idea from my side. On the other side, in the next time, I will concentrate me on the issue with the SSH connection broken. There we decide, that means Hardik, Sushitra and me, that we will changes in topic of the test brigade.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So as soon as you send a small improvement, we can consider the patch to be done for the PM config, for the PM tests.
Yes, it depends on the deliveries on Girish, and if it is done and everything works so as I expected, I will remove the work in progress immediately, and I will ping you that we can go on with the normal patch handling.
Okay. Sounds good. Girish, this work in BBSIM, is that something that will take a long time?
No, I submitted a patch for this. Are you not seeing this issue as resolved, Torsten?
It's not. I saw what you've done, and I look at the BBSIM trace, but I can't see that there are any changes of the states inside the BBSIM. Maybe there's a request missing or a small handling missing. I'm not so familiar with the BBSIM. What's happened there?
No, I meant the PMs. So when you disable the ONU, the uni status has to change. I mean, the PMs should reflect the new upper status and admin status on the new PM reports. Are you not seeing that?
I see always 0.
Okay, I'm not sure then if you have the latest PBSIM. Let me check what's happening there.
Look at the trace and we will find a solution.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, great. I think Odzke cannot join us today. I have an update from her. So the internal handling, and thanks a lot to Michael that did a lot of reviews. It's actually done. So that is some work that was actually really good that was put in by Odzge because it was a really important item for 2.8, and we are actually close to that part is done. There might be other places, but this was the bulk of the issues that were there. So that's done. And given that this was submitted yesterday, she started working again on the PM traffic descriptor ME. and she's gonna continue working on that next. So if you have anything to ask her, just ping her on Slack. I don't know if Maher, you have anything to update on this, but I don't think so.
Oh, nothing else.
Okay, this one is actually really good because, as you guys can see, it was one of the items on our roadmap. So that's really good. That's really good. We can. I need to check if all of these are done. There might be some other things that these JIRAs report, but I'll spend some time doing it myself, and work with the Oddsgeo who work on it myself if I can help on there. Okay. Good. The extended OMCI frame support, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We merged this patch, and Chip, you said there's going to be like 2-3 more patches, right?
Yeah, after this patch, we have ones for, or the next one will be the download image section. And that's about 90% done. So I should have that review out before our next meeting. And then after that one, there's ones for the alarm notification, ABC, and test result, and a few others like get current data.
Okay. 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 Any question or comment on this one?
Oh, it's good progress, but I'm a little bit afraid that we do not reach some implementation within the ONU adapter itself to make use of the extended length messages. So that is something that is open in the ONU adapter, and I don't know when someone will deal with that.
The one of the main reasons we started looking into this was so that you could use it within the sending of the image to the adapter, to the device from the adapter. Was it not the case anymore that you can use this?
Yeah, that's a good use case, but of course, we have existing code that is working, and we have modifications in the upgrade APIs that must be adapted, and changing towards the extended messages is kind of different story and some effort, and I'm not sure if I'll come to that.
Okay, yeah, let's see if we can get it done. That is just as everything, it's good to have the support, and then whenever we have the time, we use that support. So I think it's good work.
Yeah, it's good to have, but yeah, at least I think there are no experiments by now from our side, so Chip won't get much feedback for that at the moment. It might come later then.
I think it's totally fine with that. Okay, good. There were a few issues that I think are actually resolved, but I wanted to double check with everybody. This multi-ONT issue, is this something that Michael, because you reported an issue on Slack, but is it not this one? Is it a different one? Is a different one?
Yeah, it's this topic here was basically a different one. The one that we have discussed on Slack is, let's say, on top of that.
Okay.
This is a very, very sporadic issue that we discussed on Slack. The other issues were seen a little bit more frequent in our regression tests, and I think these are more or less done for the moment. I think we had 3 corrections and 2 of them were already backported to 2.7. The last one maybe was not backported to 2.7. I'm not sure what is your strategy in this case, but at least for the 2.8 release, the main issues should be solved by now.
I might just have simply forgot about it. Can you send me on Slack the patch set that you think should be backported, and I'll make sure to do that and just change the version in the docs.
Yeah, you can consider if you really want to backport it to 2.7 is related to ONU soft reboot behavior, and as far as we have seen in the appearing errors. So I'll send you the patch, and then hopefully you have the information to decide on your own what to do that with 2.7.
Yes, let's do it like this. Please do send me the patch and we can take a look. Okay. This one in the multi-OLT environment is the one you mentioned that you have the trace of the logs that you have to send me.
Sorry, where are you?
Oh, here.
I'm not sure for the moment. So yeah, it's the first point, maybe that authentication point not seen in ONUs. That might be related to that, but I have to think some minutes more about if this is really the issue.
Just one comment from my side. Whenever you have that ready, I sent you on Slack a link to where to upload the logs for that issue that we were talking about. And if there is no Jira, please do create the Jira and put the link that I sent you in there once you have uploaded the logs.
Yeah, okay, understood.
Thanks. Okay. On the reconciling side of things, we just merged the protos, and I think we will have to. There is a patch actually from Maninder for this. And David, do you know anything about this? What's the status of the RW core implementation and things like that?
I just rebased RW core and the OLT adapter. I'm in the process of rebasing the ONU adapter. The rebases are basically changing the versions and making sure the Go mod dependency is the lowest version of protos. Then they'll go through testing and we'll see how they come out the other end.
Okay. So then I think the once you rebase it, the patch is ready for review. Is that a fair assessment?
Once it's rebased and gone through verification, patch is ready for review.
Okay. Then anybody, Michael Holger, especially if you can, just go take a look and review this. It might be worth seeing if on top of Maninder's patch, we can do also something else with the reconciling state. One question, David, what is the behavior of the RW core during the reconcile?
What do you mean? I think if you mean when the device is marked as in reconciling,
Yes.
we shouldn't be acting on it. No, you can't change the state of the device.
Okay. So it's effectively freezing the device in its state while it is reconciling.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. I'm gonna have to review these patches as well.
Okay. Sounds good. So as I mentioned, Michael, Holger, please do review this whenever you have some time. I think
I
it's
think I already had a look at it. There was only this setting of the reconcile state, but no reset. So this probably in a very early stage, or
Yeah, I saw your comment. I'll see how that's going. I'll look at that comment as well.
okay. Thanks, guys. I have to take a look at it as myself. I haven't spent time on it. I'd like to do it, but yeah, I'll do it in the next few days. Okay, on the software update test, this is really not something that I've made any progress on in Berlin, and the pod is ready. It's just we haven't had any progress on that front. Any other further question on this one?
Yeah, I also had. I said we could also consider to start tests with the Atran pod installations, because the shift was done to 2.7. But we also had no time to make any further tests in this respect.
Okay.
But by the way, Andrea, it reminds me on another topic that we discussed with the changed ONU upgrade software APIs. So you stated that you might make a recall to Deutsche Telekom for making sure that they really agree to use the image version, OMSI image version, as the sole parameter for the download activities. So might be just to not forget that.
Yeah. No, I have it in my to-do list. I have not done so. I'll probably do it in hopefully tomorrow. Sparing some time from something else. I'll try to have a small chat with Bjorn and see if they can, if that's okay with them, or they would prefer a different thing, or how they do it and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else on anybody's mind? These were the topics that I had for today, but I open the floor if anybody has any questions.
Andrea, I started with this issue, hardening of the OMSI communication. That means currently we are stuck in OMSI configuration when there are communication problems between the adapter and the ONU. So I'm going to implement some retry handling and to timeout supervision of OMSI requests. And in this scope, I have finished my first BBSIM story regarding Chaos Monkey implementation to not respond on certain OMSI requests. So this actually should be ready now. I also added some unit tests in BBSIM for that. So according to my understanding, this patch could be merged if there's no other comment.
You're referring to this one. Yeah, I'll get it. Just give me 1 second. So don't worry.
I saw the patch yesterday. It was looking pretty good. I haven't looked at the unit test yet, but I'll look at that today and I'll get it matched.
That actually goes through this OMSI response rate counter, which could be communication configured via Helm-charts or command parameters, and then it checks if the events are suppressed as given by the OMSI response rate parameter. This simple loop test there, as you proposed.
I gave it a look. It looked before the test. It looked fine to me. I haven't had the time to take a look at the tests, but it looks good to me. So I think, Theo, if you want to just, if it looks good to you, you can go ahead and merge it today. That's fine by me.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll check it today.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Any other question or topic? Okay, then if not, we get 10 minutes back, and thanks for joining as usual. And I'll make sure to upload the recording, and let's continue the great work. I think we're doing very good progress to the 2.8 target, so this is really good. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.